Welcome once again to King TV, and my name remains Adebayo Adisa, your anchor for Business Trailblazers. Business Trailblazers is an amazing program that brings you business secrets, business concepts, business ideas, business revelations from God's mindset. And this program only happens on King TV. So on this particular episode, what are you already considering? Are you considering to get your capital from a debt source, which you have to pay back, as time goes on, or you want to get your funding from the banks or from equity, or you want to go for, investors that can actually, help you process funds to do these projects? In whichever way, you must be so sure that your dream, your vision is sellable. And if you are able to convince them, either at the levels, your fundings will be available to you. So for you to know more, for you to do, for you to be able to access more funds, or to be able to access that capital the right way, it depends on, the capacity you actually conceived. It depends on the kind of idea that you have. It depends on the dream that you have. It also depends on what, maybe God has spoken to you. That is why also we talked about you submitting this project to God Almighty. Come on, he's the best analyst. He's the best businessman. He can guide you through. I've seen myself speaking to God practically over business, and He has given me the right way to start. All right, so as we go on, just to let you know also before we go on, the mighty Facebook started hosting, from other platforms with about $85 per month. He had not much money on him. He didn't even start with $1,000 to host. As of then, it was the Face Match, the Facebook, and all of those. Before he began to see partners and colleagues that came on board with him, they were hosting with $85 per month. Of course, maybe on the browser, or how do we call this one, on the platform which they actually started with. And today, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook are worth over $500 billion, over $500,000 billion. So that is that's the exact thing we are talking about. So at this point, we want to let you know that having a beautiful plan, having a beautiful project can be stopped from funding. The idea you conceived initially, the zeal, the anticipation of that business can actually be crushed by funding from the wrong assertions. All right, many life-changing projects, have been aborted from fundraising. Sincerely, it can be frustrating. But on this particular episode, God is going to speak to you, and you're going to see how easy it is for you to raise, funding, if you have properly, analyzed the size, the mode, the kind of business. What do you need? Do I need vehicles? And, all of this. And as you do so, looking properly at this particular episode and the past episode, God Almighty is going to open up your heart. He's going to open up your mind, and He's going to give you revelations on exactly what you have been doing wrong, or what you need to do more, towards that, fundraising and, channeling your business the way it should actually start. So we're going to continue powerfully again after this commercial break. Welcome back to this revelational program. Same program, Business Trailblazers, bringing you business from God's mindset. On the same channel, on the same TV station, which is King TV. evil-free zone. Friends, partners across the world, viewers all around the world, viewers on YouTube, viewers on Facebook. This topic is actually getting very, very interesting because I begin to see myself, as I'm seated here, the possibility of getting more funds for my business if I can be able to get it right. There's a saying that says, charity begins at home. So the way you start, anything, the foundation actually matters. People have done it wrongly or they have gotten wrong results because of the foundation they actually laid. So straight away, we are going right to forms of raising business capitals, forms of, raising business funds, forms, that is the ways of raising capital. And we have two major forms. We have two major ways of raising business fund. And this major way, one is called by debts. By debt. I'm going to explain briefly as we go on. And the other one is called by equity. When it comes to debt, that means that the particular source of funding requires you to pay back. Either it's big or it's little, but you have to pay back. That is why it is called, fund, a debt source of funding. You have got to pay back. And equity, on the other hand, might not be that you have to pay back. Most of the time, equity funding comes in form of people trying to partner with you, trying to buy in shares, trying to buy in your stocks and all of that. For instance, when Facebook actually started, the kind of funding it got was a bit similar to equity. It didn't have to pay back, but the people that came on board with him, they were angel investors and they began to buy into his plan, paid him a lot of money to run the project massively, and those people got shares in the company. Maybe some 5%, maybe some 10%, and when a company worth billions of dollars, today you know what they're actually making. You understand what I'm trying to say? So these are the two major ways to raise funding, to raise capitals, and of course, it doesn't have to be with the banks alone. It doesn't have to be with philanthropists alone. There are a lot of ways for you to raise those capitals. All right, for a proper lesson, for a proper understanding, I want it to be a bit flexible. I want it to be, to be more flexible for us to state ways to raise funding, the same. All of which I'm going to mention will still align with the main, two major ways to raise funds, which is either by debt or by equity. All right, like I told you, debt, you are indebted to paying the partner, to paying the bank, or to paying whoever gave you the funds. It's not a bad way to raise funds for business. And equity stands also in form of grants, some kind of, how do I put it now? Some kind of givings that comes to people with powerful projects. And most times, as I said, they don't require, them, you paying back. Maybe in profits, maybe you paying back in percentage and all of those, like in the case of debt. All right, so the first way, under the two major ways to raise your business funding, is called personal savings. Personal savings, of course, you know what it means. Personal savings is a system whereby you are working in a particular company, and you have your own idea, and you begin to save your salaries. You begin to save all your earnings towards that particular business. And personal savings might also be maybe your personal savings or, family savings. Maybe from your family, you are being gifted with things over and over the time, and you begin to save them for what you can actually do with this money. So when it comes to personal savings, it will actually take time. But of course, it's about the best kind of funding. You know why? You will not be indebted to anyone. You are not liable to pay anyone back. But also everything in life that has an advantage as well as a disadvantage. Now, when you're talking about personal fundings, personal savings for business, it means that you don't actually have a target. You don't have any target whatsoever in that particular, over that particular funds. If the funds go within a twinkle of an eye, you don't have anything to lose. You are not under pressure. You are not under a kind of systematic target that helps you to do better. So when you do your business with personal savings, well, it depends on the kind of person you are. It depends on your discipline and all of that. But trust me, you might not be so, how do I put it now? You might not be so engrossed with making that powerful success in that business. You might play, over the time and, making your business to dwindle, and what have you. And also, you can also raise your business funding from personal investments. All right, so you might have investment. Maybe you have cars earlier. Maybe you have one car or two cars. Maybe you have landed properties and you are stuck in raising, this particular business fund. It's not a bad idea for you to let go of a car, to let go of a landed property for you to start a business. But let's just say, just for clarity, if you're talking about the landed property, it's also an investment on its own. So you're going to look at the land, where the land is situated. If what the land is going to give you in 5 years is more than what this business is going to give you in the next maybe 1 or 2 years, you should not let go of your land. Land is a powerful asset. Land is a very, very it's not a liability. It grows over the time. So, and of course, in other trainings, other teachings, other programs, other episodes, we're going to be telling you about different types of investment. So maybe you have a land that is not actually yielding much. You could let it go and start this powerful business. But the thing is that you have to be sure. If you can treat the car you sold, the investment stock you sold, if you can let them go, not let them go now, if you can think about them as if it's where that you actually borrowed them from someone or a bank actually gifted them to you as a loan. If you can actually think in that way, you are going to do well also in that business. So when you have personal investments, your liabilities, you turn them into capital. It's also a very good way for you to raise funds, in your business. Of course, we have online investments. There are many online investments out there. We are not telling you to go and put your money in Ponzi schemes or get rich quick schemes so that you can raise money for the capital. By the way, if you do that, you might get your fingers burnt. Of course, you might lose a lot of money and get frustrated the more for not being able to do the business of your dream. So you want to be careful of what you are actually investing in. Of course, we talked about stocks. We talked about commissions. Maybe you are a multi-level marketer. You are into network marketing. You can also get commissions from your own business, build it over the time, and also come into your dream. And then this is one of the, if you're talking of personal investment, this is one of the best way I can recommend to you to raise funds. Funds that belong to you, funds that you can do exploit with. You join any company that has a platform already as a network marketing platform, join them, raise a lot of money, and you begin to fund your business. You fund your dreams to any level. I've seen people that built their hotels, that built their banks, as a multi-level marketer. All right, but that is not the focus for this particular episode. But of course, just to let you know that you can raise good funds from such investments, either online or offline. The third way to raise fundings also can be from close relatives. Close relatives involves your families, your friends, maybe a few of your colleagues at work, or maybe your colleagues, your general colleagues might not be at work. You can also raise funding from this source. But I told you earlier, if it has an advantage, it also has a disadvantage. Now, in this case, your friends, your families will actually know the project you are going through. Just like, looking at the story of Joseph in the Bible. He kept on telling his families how big his dream is. He kept on telling his family of how large, his vision is and what God has showed him. And of course, he had enemies from that stage. So sharing such ideas, powerful ideas that you actually conceived yourself with your friends and families might actually not be too good if you want to have your, personal sanity. Let me just put it that way. So you can also raise money in the fourth way from bank loans. Now, when you talk about bank loans, the source means it's from the bank, either by a credit card, a personal loan, or a business loan. You can also raise funding from this source. But there is a bit of disclaimer on the bank loan. This is kind of a disclaimer. We are not telling you to go to the bank tomorrow morning and go and get a loan or go and get a credit card and begin to do your business. It depends on your discipline. It depends on what idea did you actually conceive. Sometimes you go out there and people will tell you, please don't start your business with loan. Don't start your business borrowing money from people. Friends, it depends on what you actually conceived. I have seen business whereby you do them today and in the next 1 month, you're already about getting 100% profit. Such business, you have tried it, you have tested it, is very sure for you. You are very, very certain about it. You are very, very sure about the project. Viewers, you can go for it. You must be sure about it. And of course, you must understand how the banks operate. You must understand how the credit cards operate. You must understand how, loans from the bank actually operate. They don't come cheap. They don't come easy. The banks want to be sure of what you want to do with this money. And if this money has gone anyhow, the bank is after you. The bank wants to take every legal actions against you. So, of course, you want to be careful in that aspect. But trust me, you can do a lot from bank fundings. I've, at one time or the other, done business using my credit card. I just conceived an idea how to pull my money out from the credit card. After pulling it out, do one of two things. I put back the money inside the card, and I'm okay with my profit. I've actually, been involved in such, and it was really amazing. It was really sweet. So at that point, what I call credit card was, I do call it a free money. Because, of course, if you're on such kind of cards or some kind of funding, you understand it. Sometimes you don't even have to pay any premium if you understand how it should run. But this is a disclaimer. We are not telling you to go for bank loans and get yourself into troubles, especially if your dream is not well conceived. If you're not so sure about that project, please just stay put with your savings, personal investments, or your friends and relatives. They might not be able to kill you. So you just go for your business that way. And of course, the fifth way to consider in this powerful episode is to talk about grants. Now, grants comes from philanthropists, angel investors, like I mentioned with Mark Zuckerberg. A particular guy actually gave him funding about, I think about 180 something thousand US dollars. Is it thousands or millions now? A very huge amount of money. Angel investors actually are kind of, let me use the word, they are kind of radical investors. They see a beautiful project, they come for it. So what are we talking about now? If your dream is not solid, if your project is not solid, you are not able to get such funding. They don't want to waste their money. So these guys saw that Facebook is a very amazing plan. Of course, some people dropped the plan of Facebook, but these guys saw it and they put a lot of money out there. And there are so many of them out there across the world. You might need to understand how they operate. If your vision is enough, you can begin to pray for such angel investors and your life is settled forever. That is how it goes. So funding is not actually a big deal, only if you understand a few things. Of course, every government of every country also does funding. They do grants. And these fundings, these grants, most time with the government don't come back with any premium. They don't come back with, maybe them taking over your company or buying shares in your company. They just want to do what? They just want to build up new ideas, new gurus in town, new business guys in town. That's what the government wants to do. And for Africa, I can tell you, if you're into agriculture, you can get money anytime. Agriculture in Africa, I'm so sure about that. I'm so sure about that. If you're in agriculture in Africa, you can raise up to, let me try to put it now in dollars. You can raise amounts going for $10,000 to $50,000 easily from agriculture, because government actually has a lot of interest in that, because of course the proceeds from agriculture goes back into the city, and of course the government has a way to tax you back, on those proceeds of your farm. So in fact, they even give you up to tractors. They give you tractors, they give you machineries for you to run a big farm, but they must be sure of your plans. If you're not sure of your plans, they hijack all the equipment they have given to you. They take them off your hands, and the person is back to square one. And of course, that will not be your own portion in Jesus' name. So you can raise funds also from NGOs. So these things are going to differ from each country to each country to another, the way you raise this kind of fundings. So everybody has access to funds. It is only if you don't understand how funding works. Everybody has what? Everybody has access to funding. Only if you don't know how it works. It's interesting to let you know that if your business proposal, your business project is so deep, if your idea is so sustainable, fundings are how they're looking for you. Governments are able to fly these projects. Well, don't be bothered by by the issues in Africa, by the improper government plans in Africa. But of course, there are still very wonderful plans around Africa that helps new business gurus to come on board. But the project must be deep. It must be sound. It must be tenable. It's not something that we just get into the market and just quench. So one of the reasons why they're going to give you that funding is that they're going to see if this idea is a new idea in the market. If it's a new one, for example, the first time to have an e-commerce website, maybe for instance, Jumia, the founders of Jumia could get up to any amount of millions of dollars from the government if they have shared their vision to them properly. The government considers, oh wow, okay, e-commerce, you're delivering from this side to this side, across the world, across cities. The government buys into your plan powerfully. Investors, angel investors, normal investors, philanthropists buys into your project instantly. Of course, maybe on profits-wise or non-profits, but get to know and get to understand. every business funding must derive profit. The government wants a profit. They might not directly give you profit, but in form of taxation, the government is getting back from you. So every business philanthropist or any philanthropist, any angel investor, they actually intend to get profit. But most times it might not be in form of a payback, unlike the bank. That is just the only difference. So for such projects, for such items, for such products, it must be tried in the market. And if it has been accepted in the market, for instance, okay, let's just say, for example, the issue of Zoom platform. Zoom platform has been there for a few months, for a few years. Nobody paid attention to Zoom. But when 2020 came, we had an issue, a global issue, called the COVID-19 issue, and Zoom became what everybody wants to go on to have their meetings. Even, churches will go on Zoom, meetings go on Zoom, even sellers come on Zoom. So whatever it is, the idea begins to sell. So, for example, if such idea was what you conceived initially, Zoom, and the investors begin to look at, the possibility of your dream, of your project thriving in the market, and they will just say to themselves, wow, if it's like this, you know what, let's try to help this guy, shaping it the more, let's go for it and let's fund him. That is how exactly it works. They must have tried it in the market. Maybe it's an app, maybe it's a product. It gets tried in the market. It gets tested by these powerful investors. They know how to go about these things, and they know how to scrutinize you and how to, get the best out of you. And of course, you start the process of funding. And trust me, in 3 years to come, you are already a successful businessman. You are somebody of value. You become somebody. You become a mentor, so to say. You become a role model to other businessmen, other businesswomen, in a very short while. That's how it works. But funding is available for you. Let's get it clear. Funding is actually available for everybody. Okay, but you must only be sure and you must be informed, like we're doing to you in this particular episode, on this particular channel, on this particular program. You must be informed of how to get funds or how to access funding. And, when it comes to capital is usually timed to be scarce. Money is usually timed to be scarce. But the real truth is that your money is in the hand of someone. There's a particular man called Uber King. He's a very aggressive speaker, and he tells you all the time that your money is in the hand of that man. But you can only get your money out of the hand of that man if you have that powerful vision, if you have that powerful project. If you don't have what to share with him, he cannot give it to you. You see, these investors, they don't want to give their money to anybody. They don't want to give their money to someone that will just waste their funds, like a prodigal son, and just come back to them and tell them, Oga, it did not work, or sir, it did not work, ma, it did not work. They will not accept a no for an answer because they want their money at all times to yield profit to them. That's why they put their money into stocks. That's why they put their money into real estate and all of those. They want commissions, they want profits for this capital at every time, at every minute. So brethren, let me just encourage you, viewers, let me encourage you, in all these kind of fundings, let God be your source. If God is your source, if God is your main target for funding, He's going to give you the right source to get those funds. And let me just try to encourage you when it comes to the issue of capital. When it comes to the issue of capital, you have got to share your vision with someone. Like I mentioned earlier about Joseph. Joseph shared his vision with his brothers. When it comes to funding like this, you have got to share your vision. You have got to give the blueprint of this powerful project to an investor. You have got to show it out to a philanthropist. They do not just want to give you their money. They do not, see, it's not as if they are generous. They are only generous to your plans. And you know what? You are able to get funding from them only if you can sell the project to them. The project must not be sellable to you. It must only be sellable to them. If they accept the fact that this project can sell in the market, based on their own experience in business, they are ready to give you the fundings. So they are ready to also go for you. So money is never scarce. Your money is in the right of that man. In fact, sometimes your money is in the hand of your uncles. Your money is in the hand of your aunts. Your money is in the hand of your friends, your business partners, wherever they are. Your money, your cash is in their pockets. Only if you know the buttons to access the funds in their pockets. So they must see your project, tenable, solid, and then they'll be able to go for it. So On that note, let us continue by sharing, that capital is looking for only good ideas. Business capital, business money is only looking for good ideas. When it comes to money, money is something that you spend on a normal day. But money in business called capital is something that you don't spend anyhow. It's not what you spend on cars because you have made sales of one, or you have made sales in your company, you have made a growth. You say, okay, you know what? Now I want to buy the best Jeep in town. I want to buy the latest Mercedes-Benz. It doesn't work that way. There is also a working capital. So you keep on working and working and working on your business till you get to a level of success where you can achieve for yourself that beautiful house, that beautiful car, and that beautiful education for your children. So money for business actually awaits only good and brilliant ideas. However, there are few roadblocks. Let me just say few mental roadblocks. Few mental roadblocks. From our mindset that affects us from getting fundings. And the first one is eye chase. What is eye chase? We talked about that earlier, whereby you want to start a business and you can comfortably start a business with $1,000, $2,000, and you begin to go for $15,000. Why? Because you are thinking of you need to start that business, starting with a brand new car. You have to start that business in that very big office so that you can be known. It doesn't work that way. So eye chase is going to be a mental roadblock that will affect your business. Some business actually started from the room, from the corners of people's bedroom. A lot of successful business on this day started from the corners of the bedroom. So you don't want to have an eye chase. It's a roadblock for you. It doesn't allow you to get fundings as you need. It doesn't allow you to get the right capital. It doesn't allow your investors to listen to you. You are coming to me now as an investor and you told me, okay, you know what? I got a beautiful ideas. There's this new beautiful shoes and beautiful bags I want to be buying from Vietnam, from China, from Dubai. And you are telling me that what you need for that business is about $50,000 US. And I'm just wondering, what is it that you want to buy at the first stage? Why don't you start with $10,000 and begin to grow it over the time? You buy again and again, repeatedly, and you get into success. So any eye chase, towards capital raising is going to be a no to any investor. Of course, you don't also have the mindset of capital scarcity. It is also a roadblock. It's also a mental roadblock, whereby you begin to think, no, money is not available. Nobody's going to give me money. It's not going to work out. I can't get money. People don't have money. Friends, I told you earlier, your money is in the hand of someone. Your capital is always in the hand of someone. It's in the hand of that investor. You know what they say about money? Money is workaholic. Money doesn't sleep. Money doesn't rest. Money only needs a very wonderful investment platform. Money only needs that person that knows how to put use to it. You know what is funny about these investors? They sleep at night, but they don't ever want their money to sleep. Big investors don't want their money to sleep. You find them investing. Maybe you have to listen to Robert Kiyosaki, the rich dad and the poor dad. One of his major selling points is that he keeps investing in his cash flow, in his capital, in his business, so that he can have massive cash flow. So money is workaholic. They won't just give the money to you unless you are able to sell to them your idea properly. If you come to me, you want fundings, and you cannot even sell to me a biro. For example, the way you talk, the way you project, project your business, the way you prospect me, you cannot even sell a pen to me. Then how do you think I'm going to give you the funds? So every business starter should work on their vision. You should work more on those dreams. You should work more on those projects. And of course, I tell you, you have to pray more also on those projects. There should be a perfect clarity. There should be a word of God over that business. This way, do it. This way, do it. This way, don't do it. And this is going to help you as you go on, also in your fund, in your fund searching or in your fund search. Another roadblock that I'm going to share with you is also from failure and rejection. The mindset of failure and rejection. The mindset of if I fail or if I'm rejected. I think we talked about that in some maybe 2 or 3 past episodes, how people don't want to start a business. The same way, you don't want to start a business because you think you're going to be rejected. The same way people don't go for funding because they think, no, they're going to reject me. This guy will not give me those funds. I mean, he can't give it to me. You already have that mindset within you that he will not give you the funds. And of course, when you go there, you get a no. But let me just encourage you. When it comes to business funding, rejections are over 95% across the world. Even at the bank levels, whatever level you want to talk about, rejections are very high. They will tell you no for the first time. And what is that doing to you? That is only building you up. You're going to go back to your house, to go back to your workstation or your work desk. You want to ask yourself, why was I rejected on this project? Is this idea not sellable? Has this idea been in the market earlier? What has actually happened that I am not able to sell on this project? And that will now give you an answer to what you should do in requesting for funds the next time. So if you're able to work on your rejections, you're able to work on the mindset that, no, if I'm rejected here, I will get my fundings here. If you're able to push, tell more people about your vision. But of course, never share it all. If you have your business proposal, don't always reveal every secret behind the project. Most times you'll be pushed to tell them a lot of things about it, but most times some of those ideas might be stealed. An idea like, for instance, like Dubai taxi, for instance, somebody wanted to invent it in Nigeria. I heard of a story like that, and the idea was hijacked by the government. Before the guy could drop the proposal and go back, the government, maybe the government of the Minister of Transportation or whoever it was, already rolled out a plan of how it will go, and he accredited that to his own name. So that happens a lot in business. All those things should not fear you. All those things should not make you not to be able to go for funding. Of course, we said it earlier, it depends on who you are and what your relationship is with God Almighty, as it's going to guide you in all those things. So if you're able to build on your rejections, the next time you are qualified for getting the funds. If you're able to build on your rejections, then next time you will be on what? On the verge of getting your funds from the bank, from that philanthropist, or from that angel investor. They want to see that this plan will sell. They want to see that I'm not going to lose my money. So please be conscious, very conscious of these mental roadblocks. The eye chase. No, I have to start with $100,000. The roadblock of capital scarcity. Money is workaholic. Anytime money is available for you. Only if you know the right buttons to press, if you know the right buttons to go for. And when you go for fundings, you will always be rejected. You might fail at bank 1. You might fail at bank 2. You might fail before investor 1, 2, 3, 4. But the 6th investor, if you're able to work on yourself, is ready to give you that funds. So don't try to do the blame game when it comes to your business funding. My uncle is not ready to fund me. My aunt is not ready to help me. All those blame game, you have to stop it. You have to go for the right source of funding. You have to believe God Almighty as your main source. And it's going to guide you through on how to raise those thousands of dollars, those millions of dollars to do that project or to continue in that project powerfully. I want to believe and trust God you have gotten powerful values from this wonderful episode. And from the next episode, we are going to go further. We just want to encourage you. Start that business. Go for that business funding. Take that business to the next level. See you at the top because you are a trailblazer. My name is Adebayo Adisa. See you next time. God bless you.